Hello everyone, welcome back to Conarchy YouTube channel. In our previous videos, we created grid lines for this building plan where we learned how to create grid lines through our X and Y axis. We've already done that and we are just going to move on with another step that is very important. That's our material definition. We are going to define our materials. We know there is an RCD design, that's a reinforced concrete. So we are going to need two materials, that's the concrete and rebar. So we are going to learn how to define all these materials for our design. So if you have any comments or any question or anything you want to know, just comment in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. This is very important for us. Thank you very much. So let's get into it. With our previous model we saved it with a unique name, that's building. So looking at this place, we have recent models. So the recent models just gives us models that we've been working on, like the current models we've been working on. So these are some of the current models we've been working on: building, truss. So based on the names you save them with, we have them here. So these are building here. So just in case you also have different models here and you can't really find them here, there's an open existing model where you can find your previous models, every model you've just worked on. So you just have to click on it and look for it. So our grid lines, we name them as building. So this is it. So you just have to select building and open. So this is the grid line we created for our building plan. I'm sure you already have this one. So if you don't have this, you just have to watch our previous videos and it's going to teach you how to also create your grid lines for this building plan. So as I said earlier, our next objective is to define our material for this design. And you know that the two materials we'll be needing will be our concrete and our rebar, that's our reinforcement. So we are just going to define these materials for our model. So looking at here, we have define at our menu bar. So you just click on define. We are going to define our material. So it's a material property. So you just click on material properties. And looking at this, we have some properties already here that are already in the Etabs app. So you can decide to use these same materials or you can just create your new material. So we have add new material. Now you can also do that. So let's add a new material. So we have our region, that's the user. So based on the codes or region you are, you just pick your region over here. So it can be Europe, India, Italy. So based on your region, just pick. And we have material type. So this is the material we are going to define. So we have concrete, aluminum, rebar, so many different materials, but what we need now is our concrete. So first of all, we're going to pick concrete, then click on OK. So material name, you just have to name our material with some specific name. So let's assume we want a concrete of compressive strength 30 Newton per millimeter square. So let's say C30. So we are going to name our concrete to be C30. So it has a compressive strength of 30 Newton per millimeter square. So material type is a concrete. So the display color you can change if you want to, but I'm not going to change anything with here. So we have our material weight and mass. So we have our specific weight density. So weight per unit volume, and we know that concrete has a weight per unit volume of approximately 24 kilonewton per meter cube. And looking at our values here, we have 23.56, which is quite closer to 24. So you can either leave it like this or you can just change it to 24. It actually depends on your design. So let's change it to 24. So 24 kilonewton per meter cube. We have our modulus of elasticity. I'll come back to this once, like as soon as possible. I'll just come back to this. And we have, so I think we are done with everything here. So let's modify our property design. So I'm just going to modify this. So it's a C30 concrete we are creating, and the grade 2 will be like 30. So it's a grade 30, and the compressive cube strength of the concrete is 30 megapascal. So we just input that value here, so 30. So based on the strength you want, if you want 25, 30, 35, you just input those values here. But we are working with a C30 concrete, so we are just going to input that. And also, if you want it to be light concrete, you can just check this and just input your values, but we don't really want that, so we just uncheck it and just click on OK. So back to our modulus of elasticity. It's just a simple formula that you can use to get this value, this parameter. So I'm just going to erase this. So the formula is 4,700 root your FCU. So 4,700 root your FCU, and we know that our FCU here is 30. So in this app, the app can also calculate your answer for you, or you can just input it in your calculator and just input the answer you get here. But I'm just going to do that directly. So we have 4,700 times 30 to the power 0.5. That's 4,700 times root 30. Then just tap enter on your keyboard, and this is the value you get. So it's in many decimals. You can just approximate or run it to maybe 25,743. It all depends on you, but this is the value we'll be using for our design. So once we are done defining our concrete and we are done with everything, I think we already have a C30 there. So let's just place something that's going to differentiate it, maybe C.30, because I already have a concrete that's C30 over there, but I just wanted to create for you all to see. So then we have C.30 here. So once we are done, we can just click on OK, and we are done. Just like as I was saying, we already have C30 here. That's what I've been using for my previous designs. So let me delete this. Okay, so C.30. So this is the material we created. So what else do we need to create? We are done with our concrete, so we have to get back to our rebar. So our rebar, we have to add new material and user, since our country doesn't really exist in this region tab. And our material type, looking at this, we have steel here, but this is not the steel we want. These are just structural steel members. That's our UB and our universal columns. These are structural like steel members, but this is not what we want. We want our rebar. So this is our rebar. That's the reinforcement that are placed inside the concrete. So we are going to select this rebar, and we are just going to click OK. So mostly in construction, we mostly use two types of rebar. We know we have our high yield and our mild steel. So we are going to create two types of rebar, the high yield and the mild. So let's name this as, so first of all, we are going to create our high yield. Let's name it as let's say H1. Let's name it. So this is just a name I'm giving it. So you can just give it any specific name you want. So H1 rebar, our material type is a rebar, and with a weight per unit volume, you're just going to maintain this value. Modulus of elasticity of steel is almost 20,000. So we have 19,900 is close to 20,000. So we can just keep this value, or I can just change it, but I'm deciding to keep this value and just modify our property design. So let's look at this. So this is one interesting part. Okay, so it's a high tensile reinforcement bar. So we know that our minimum yield strength is 460. For high tensile is 460. So pay rapt attention to this place. So we have our minimum tensile strength we have our expected yield, expected tensile strength. So these are just values we'll be multiplying. So we'll be multiplying our minimum yield strength with some modifiers. We are just going to modify this value and input the values here. So with our minimum tensile strength is 1.5. So I'm just going to input the formula inside the bar and I'm going to get my straightforward answer. So 1.5 times 460. The 460 is my minimum yield strength. So these are just modifiers I'll be multiplying to get these various parameters. So it's 1.5 times this minimum yield strength, and I'll just tap enter and I have my value. And the expected yield strength is 1.1 times my minimum yield strength, that's 460. And I have my value also there. And our expected tensile strength is just 1.1 times this value, our minimum tensile strength, that's 690. And I have every parameter here. So let me just go over it so that you can just get it. So first of all, you input your minimum yield strength of the bar you are using. I'm using a high tensile, so it's 460. And the minimum tensile strength is 1.5 times your minimum yield strength, that's 460. And I had 690. And the expected yield strength is 1.1 times 460. And the expected tensile strength is 1.1 times this minimum tensile strength, that's 690, to get every value here. So that's it. Then you are done. So you click on OK. Then since we are done with everything, we're just going to click on OK. So we've created a high tensile. So our next material is the mouth steel. So then with the mouth, we are just going to add a copy of this. So instead of adding a new material, we are just going to add a copy of this high tensile that we created. So we're just going to select the H1, add copy of material. So you just have to just rename this to R1. So it depends on you, just name it. I'm going to name my R1. And we are just going to keep everything here because it's just a copy of the other one. So all we have to change is this place. So this is what we have to change. So we have a minimum yield strength. You know that for mouth steel is, we know that our minimum yield strength is 250. So as the previous one, we just input the modifiers. So 1.5 times 250. 1.1 times 250, and the last one, that's 1.1 times 375, and that's it. So just like we did for the high tensile, we are going to do the same here, and we have our values, and now we are done. So just click on OK, and since you are done, just click on OK. So now we have our materials. We have our C30, H1, and R1. So these are the materials we'll be using throughout our design. So we are done creating them, so just click on OK. So we are done creating our materials, defining our materials for our design. So in our next video, our next thing we'll be doing is to define our sections. We are going to define our column and our beams and also our slab that we'll be using for our design. So that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to today's video. And if there's anything you want to make or know much about, just leave a comment down in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And as always, Conarchy Engineering Consult, the pinnacle of engineering.